not to memorize things. That is the main thing for the modern developer. And the next thing I would like to suggest, if you disable your notification in your office time, it will definitely increase 100 percentage of your productivity. This is I realized my personal experience. So that is the main thing. And next thing is if you know basic ingredients, you can make any kind of good food. Same thing for a software development also. So the basic mathematics is very important for every software or a computer engineer, because if you know basic mathematics, definitely you can sort out and solve many problems. So that's why it's very important. uh, the next thing is um, research. Like in a big company, they will look the first thing, how do you do the Google search, because that is very important. Because you have in a development we can't memorize everything. So anyway, if any development, any things we always do in a 8-hour job, we do definitely many times the Google search to getting the information. But the main thing is you need to know how to do Google search properly for getting a solution for your problem. If you solve, if you get the relevant information within 1 or 2 page, that is my understanding, it's a good search. If you search more pages, you are not providing relevant information for your uh, problems to getting a solution. uh, how to get the information and how to do the Google search properly. So if you like to doing the Google search properly, we need we can use the Google search documentation. It's already they provided. So using this Google search documentation, we can do properly. Like how to use the file type. Suppose as a general user, you need like for an example, some document you need only PDF. If you use a file type PDF, you will get only PDF based results. Or if you add file type is doc, you will get only doc based results. So kind of and based on the site name, related stuff, and exclude from your search. So these kind of thing, we will get a good idea from Google. Even in my current project, for this kind of price matching stuff, we do like this Google concept. Like for an example, um, Tesco milk. Um, so it will get a Tesco based product milk. So this kind of the search concept, we can understand how to do that. And next thing is data structure and algorithm basics. That is very, very important in software world, because if you willing to join the big companies like a Google, Yahoo, Facebook, Amazon, every company, if you go on to attend the interview, they don't ask about anything about the latest stuff or anything. They will ask these kind of basic questions only, because if you are good with your basics, definitely you can do a better job. So most of the interview questions based on these things, and it is very important. And these all data structure, algorithm, everything is our real life scenario only. They made an as a methods. So for an example, we can say the queues. So in a real time scenario, we know what is queue. Same thing we are implementing in the computers, hold, looping, selections, everything. So fundamentally, we need to understand the basic. That is very, very important. And the next thing is solid. I know many people know about this solid principles. That is also very important because in all the latest frameworks, all the programming languages, uh, we are using this our regular day-to-day life. Like for an example, like how to declaring the variable, how to creating a method, reusability, this all the stuff without knowing this concept we use regularly. But if you know the basic things of the concept, you can uh, give the productivity and give the quality code for your projects. So that's why I suggest this one also very important. And the next thing is design patterns, because in this is the like the Java community. So in Java, we are using all these kind of basic design patterns in our projects. So if you understand the design patterns, it is easy to implement for your projects. And the next topic we are going to discussing about the coding skills, productivity, and technical ideas. So in Java, see, like in your company, in your project, if you are going to use any framework means, you need to think about your requirement, not about the framework. For an example, many projects we are using Fring or Hibernate or you know uh, these kind of latest framework, but we need to think about our project. Then we need to choose the framework. Uh, like a Spring framework is famous, so we will like to use for our project. It is not necessary. So based on the project only, we need to decide the framework. And the next thing is how to decide which framework is good. So we need to follow some simple, the general stuff. Suppose if you are using the Spring framework for your project, um, how do you choose Spring is a good one? So you need to check these things: how many stars in the framework, how many forks, how many watch, and the next thing is how many releases, how many contributors, and the license, everything. We need to do the research, and then we try to implement, or we need to choose for our project. Because suppose the Spring have a less contributor, and suppose the guy is not available, because many things happen in our projects. For a front end point of view, like we do like a lot of like a jQuery add-on or something like that, but that is not properly maintained. Like maybe your jQuery version is different, but your add-on is different version, just jQuery version, so you can't use it. So before choosing these things, we need to think, and we need to decide it. That is the main thing we need to do. And the next thing is version control. You know, why we are using version control? Because if you are working with a single developer, even or a multiple developer, if you are using the version control, it is very useful for maintaining for a long run for our projects. So many people thinking about the Git means like Git add, Git commit, pull and push. That is commands. But I would like to suggest to our people, learn the Git concepts, not the commands, because the commands is if you see the documentation, um, you can type and you can do easily. But if you don't know the concept, it's hard to maintain, even follow the Git concepts. So try to understand the couple of concepts like a stas, reset, bisect, squash, rebase. These are the concept. If you understand it, it is very useful for your projects. And the next thing is testing. So if you're writing unit testing for your projects, it is very useful for your project long run, because every time, that's why latest technologies are came for continuous integration, circle CI, trans CI, so many GitHub action, many things happen because every time write, test, and delivery, write, test, and delivery, because it makes your code working properly without making any issue for production. And the next thing is, who is your best friend in software world? The first best friend is books. So I would like to suggest, if you would like to be a modern software engineer, you need to know about the basic history of computer science. In 50 years before, how the computer science works, how nowadays we are using version control, all these stuff, the same concept, the continuous integration, continuous deployment, still 30-40 years before, the computer science engineers they used, but a different way. They used initially the floppy, and after then they're sending the floppy to different department, then they need to do combine the code, and they need to release the patchwork. Sometimes the latest patch is not suitable for the current code. So still, if you know that all the basics, in your company or in your project, you like even if you are using the GitHub actions, if you want to do some fine tuning or a changes or anything, if you know the core concepts, you can make a new one, or you can modify it based on your project requirement. So I would like to suggest, these books are very good. So when you have a time, if you study this one, it is give a you know better knowledge, and it will help you a lot. So books are very important. So how much books are you reading in your projects, in your free time? It is very helpful for your career. The Clean Code Concepts are very good book for Martin, and this is like to be a master. If in a productivity way, every day we are using code editors. So in the code editors, we have our open source and paid versions are there, but I would like to suggest, if you are using your particular code editor, you should be a master in that code editor, because it saves so much time for uh, your day-to-day work life. Because for an example, even if you do like a pair programming with other developer or somebody, if you know all the keyboard shortcuts and everything about your code editor, it is easy, and quick conversation, and helpful for opposite person, for an example, selecting something and moving something. If you know the shortcut, if you do so quickly, it is easy. So spend the time to learn about tips and tricks of the editors. Already the JetBrains, they have a channel, they providing all the tips and trips videos. So when you have a time, please see the videos, and add the plugins for the editors. It is save your time. And the next thing is static analysis tools. Yeah, because static analysis tools also very useful when you do code review with other developer code. Because in my previous experience, we have 7 to 8 members, like 4 to 5 people contractors, and 2 people is a senior developer, and other 2 developers are new developers. So everybody in different location and different situation, but we need to do code review and do the release proper way. So on that time, when the new developer joining my team, they didn't implemented these stuff, then we created some tutorials session for them, giving a suggestion to implement the static analysis tool. uh, it saves everybody time. Like for an example, before you doing the code commit, doing the pull request to the other developer to review your code, if you run this stuff with yourself, you can identify easily, code mistakes or a logic mistake, everything it will give the report. So based on that, you can solve the issues yourself. And if you could give the pull request to the developer, it is save their time also for the code review time. And it makes good impression about you. For an example, in your appreciation time and salary increment time, um, uh, they can give a good feedback about you, and even it makes happy to you when you finish your task. So compulsory, I would like to suggest to use the static analysis tools also. Next is using the aliases, because GitHub already giving alias. So and the same thing, you can write a customized bash alias script for your personal preference. For an example, in my previous project, we developed a e-commerce based application. So in that e-commerce based application, when we do the pair programming time, we need to clear the cache, and we need to run re-indexing and cron job, and checking the logs, all the stuff. If you type everything, the big real-time commands, you know it take time. And when you do the pair programming time, opposite person lose their patience. So if you're using this kind of thing, even when you do testing or when you do debugging the stuff, it is very very useful and save your time also. So I will highly recommend it to use this kind of thing stuff for developer. And the next thing is awesome. Awesome means awesome. When I start my career in 2004, 2005, we don't have too much online materials. Maybe we need to use a couple of books only. And if you are a junior or a newcomer from different department or a different platform or a different job, uh, we we don't get too much options to get best resources. And nowadays trend is change, and technology change, more open source community, developer community, many people using internet. So the thing is, so if you want to learn any language, anything about it, just go to GitHub, awesome plus your language name. That is so useful for you. For an example, if you want to learn about Java, awesome Java, so you will get the awesome list. So what tool we can use, what editor, testing, everything you can get from the list. Not only the Java, say JavaScript, HTML, CSS, any language you will get. So um, suppose your company currently you are using Spring framework, and next month you are going to using different framework for a different project. You no need to worry about awesome plus framework name. That's it. You will get basic all ingredients. So within a week you can pick up. Yeah, same thing. I follow my many projects because when I start with work with my previous project, I don't know anything about Vue.js. Just I started within a week. I start pick up and we are using for projects. So next thing also very important. If you like to keep in the trend, you need to know about what's going in your uh, you know in your language career. So because that is very important, like if you are in Java, so at least weekly couple of time to spend time about these. Even for an example, in my project, like previously for date format, calendar, all the stuff, we need to write a function and we need to add a library to using our application. But nowadays the latest trend, like in my project, like we are using Carbon. So using the Carbon is automatically I can do different date format, human level. Like for an example, I updated something today, so it will automatically say like 5 minutes ago. Suppose if I deleted yesterday. If I added 5 days ago, means automatically uh, the simplified add-ons. If you spending time about these things, you will get clearer idea about this, and you can follow the developers also. It is very useful, and the main thing, next thing is see the happiness between these two kids. So happiness never decreases when shared, Buddha. So I would like to suggest to do thing. It's very important in development. That's why I'm keep telling many time, repeating the same word. But even my current project, yesterday I went office. Um, we did pair programming. So the 1 day work we finished in 2 hours. So that is the magic for pair programming. And next thing is how to learn these kind of things and our career level. Yeah, the YouTube is the mainstream. YouTube is you can use YouTube for good and bad. So if you're using for YouTube for good things, uh, it is the number one resources. Like you will get anything. You know. So all the topics are available. So use the YouTube properly. Same thing, YouTube also learn how to use the YouTube keywords search. That is very important. And the next thing, if you like to use private resources, like even open source resources are available. You can use free code camp and Udemy, many things already free, even the Paylice and the Medium also you can use it, and the dev community blog also there, so you can utilize it. And even the uh, COVID quarantine time, many online resources are um, helping for a developer. Many courses are free, discount also. So this is the right time to do the the certification. So if you're willing to do something, this is the right time, because everybody we are at home and getting more time, so utilize it. And next thing is like a stack share, because previously we don't know, like for an example, your company is willing to make similar kind of like a educational portal. So we know who is the market leader, but we don't know like what are the technologies they are using. I mean, like a 5, 10 years ago. But nowadays, using the tax share, already all major companies tax share already they shared. So it is very useful, and we will get some idea, like for an example, why they are using GraphQL, what is the advantage, is it suitable for our application or not. Then a DevOps side and even support side, everything we will get some the basic stuff. So based on that, we can decide it and we can utilize for our making successful our application. And the awards.com, this is very useful for for a design guys, for front end developers, like we will get all for an example, for an example, nowadays all the phone companies are copying Apple. If you go to like a OnePlus website, it's similar bit concept of Apple. All major companies, Samsung, everybody using Apple's UI concept. With the core concept is same, but UI images and the basic stuff is different. So same thing, if if we want to match with latest trend, uh, this awards.com is very useful. They are talking and they are discussing and they are publishing all modern trends of the UA stuff. So it is very, very useful. And next thing is how we can um, improve and getting good guidance for our career. Like I would like to suggest to go and attend the conferences, because when I go and attend the conferences, it is very useful for me because I can meet same my field people and same thought people. I will get a mentor, everybody. So it is very, very useful. um, I know, it is costly, but if you are a permanent or if you're lucky, if your company is sponsoring to go and attend this kind of conference, please don't miss it and go and attend it. Not this one, like anything. We are in London. London, many conferences are going, even free, paid version. So utilize it. It is very, very useful. And next thing, if you can't go to attend the meetup, join these kind of good useful meetup groups. It is very helpful because they are conducting good talks every month. Many not only London Java community, many other meetups also going. So uh, same thing here also, you need to select like how many members, how they are conducting events regularly, and the speakers details and the responses. So just to do small research about it, then joined it, because they will start some meetup, then they don't run properly continuously, so then that's no use. And it's also very, very useful. And next thing is, even in the lockdown period, we can't go outside. If you can't attend the virtual meetup, again, all major events, they are publishing their conferences in YouTube, sometime daily motion, private videos also. So utilize it. I learn lot of things from these kind of conferences, and it is very, very useful for developers. And next thing, in a quarantine time, the main thing is, in your home office, based on our budget, set up at least minimum level of workspace. Yeah, everybody, we are using laptop, but for long run, daily basis, and take a rest, drink more water, do exercise. It is very important. And next thing, do some good. You are in a good company, because my friends, in the current quarantine time, even the furlough time, we heard many people getting job loss. So damn it, it's some bad thing. Um, but how do you choose you are in a good company? Because in a last 3 months, if you get your regular salary without any deduction, that is number one company in the world in a different field. Uh, that is real time truth. So they are the company have too much pressure still. um, they are take caring the employees, and they are paying, and they are making different strategies to run their business regularly. So if we do something good, it's good for us and good for company. So I hope we are doing our best. And next thing is that's why I'm saying everything basic is very important. If you know the basic thing, you will be a chef not only in the programming in your life, you will be a master in any field if you know the basic stuff. So that's why I'm saying keep try to learn, keep learn. So all these things, it won't come in one day. So success is ton of disciplines. So yeah, I think many people know about this. If you follow the good things at least 21 days, it will continue automatically. If you follow 100 days, it will go your lifelong. So please follow the discipline. So happy coding.
Excellent. Yeah, that's really interesting talk. I loved they mentioned the books at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which ones in particular would you um, advise out of those?
You mean a general book or
Yeah, I like the Soul of a New Machine looked quite good. I haven't really
yeah.
got stuck into that yet, so that'd be interesting.
Hmm.
Um, and um, the algorithms, were there any kind of, so sorry to change the topic a bit, with the algorithms, did you do a lot of study of algorithms when you first started?
Uh, to be honest, if you like to go back and uh, to understand the basics means, if you know I'm from India. If you like to join in a big position, we do the general um, test, so about the basic stuff only. So people, they do starting their year 1 to year 10 books only.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, because it's
So
been
yeah,
sorry.
because
Yeah.
I would like to suggest, spend the time, like if you are a parent, spend the time with your kid to teaching basic mathematics.
Mm.
So that is very very important. And another thing, I think one of our famous poet, he wrote a letter to uh, his son in 9-year old, if uh, what do you want to, what is your life dream? So many kids say I want to buy a car, I want to buy a buy a house, I need to go holiday. That is not, that is a general dream. But the poet saying to his son, if you are a good kid, you need to think and you need to learn how to be a good manners, helping tendency. So if the kids learning that stuff, very important. So um, as a parent, I learned these things from my wife. She sacrificed her job, everything. She spent nearly 5 years, the whole day with a kid. So now we can see the difference between other kid and our kid, because the good habits are very important. The discipline.
Mm.
So in a development field also same thing. Like if you have a good discipline, definitely the honesty is very important. This is my real time experience.
Hmm.
So it is definitely helpful for career growth.
Excellent.
Yeah, the
Um,
clean code is very good book,
yeah.
because and the refactoring stuff also very good one.
Hmm. Uh,
um,
Martin Fowler. Is,
yeah,
yeah.
and the the basics of the computer science thing, the three books also very very interesting and useful one. The soul of new machine, and
Mm.
the big machine one, and the people's history of computing in the United States one.
Hmm.
Because these thing is, if you know how, we are not there doing, or we are not inventing anything new things, already everything is available.
Yeah.
But just we are using modern way only. If you are a modern developer means, like it is not about using modern tools or a modern principles or
Mm.
anything. If you are a modern developer means, from my point of view, if you are working for a company, if you doing any, making a profit for your company, that is you are a modern developer.
Hmm.
You no need to use modern tools or anything. This thing I learned from my current boss. Even for an example, like a continuous integration or a deployment, like everybody using Jenkins or different tools are there. So if they ask, we can use this. It's not necessary. Somebody wrote some rules, you no need to follow the rules.
Hmm.
If that's why I told, if you know the basics, based on your company requirement, you can write your own. It makes success.
Excellent. And also, I liked your mentioned the aliases. I haven't used those completely yet. So you've got those on your in one of your bash files, have
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So that's a good one to good tip. Any further questions from the audience? If you have a question, just feel free to uh, put your camera on. So we've got a question from Irina saying, tell more about. Yeah, so we've got a couple of questions actually.
Yep.
You mentioned pair programming. What other techniques and methods do you think work well and which not so well? So that's from.
uh, yeah, the pair programming works well is like in our project we are using the um, VS Code. It's a fantastic code, and we are start to utilizing the live share, because the live share, it is very very easy. Like like if you're doing pair programming with others, normally what we do, like we use Slack or a Teams or something, and doing the screen share, or sometime giving the control or team view or something to helping them. But in the pandemic period, everybody in home, internet slow sometime. But the live share is very very useful. Sometime if you explain with other developer or somebody, the idea is your mind. Sometime it take time to understand others. So on that situation, like if you have a control, you can finish it quickly. you know the live share is very useful. Like even when we do sometime the training programming for a new concept to others, if you are explaining uh, you know in a voice and doing this live share. If you do coding with them, it is very very useful. Even you can take control their system. Even you can run their project in your local. So it is very very useful. And the bad thing is internet. Sometime if bad internet, if you update something in your the live share thing, but you can't see the changes rarely, but it's very very useful. And other techniques are like using these kind of um, the bash allies, very very useful. Sometime the opposite person, they don't need to type the big thing. If it is short, it is easy. Sometime opposite person, you know you doing pair programming with different character people. You need to do like a senior developer, junior developer. You need to do with your boss. If you're doing with your boss, if you typing the long one, doing the debug, it's no good. So these things are very very helpful. Sometimes opposite person, cool people, short temper people, less passion people. So makes our side uh, easy. Then only we will get more help.
Cool. So Irina's got a question. Tell me more about ownership.
Uh, yeah, ownership means yeah. Can you give me detail about it? What do you mean? I mean, I understand ownership. Ownership means which topic they need to know about. I mean, taking control of the project or guidance or how. What do you mean? They are asking.
Okay, so Irina, if you could add a bit more to that, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, I'm happy to explain, but if I get a detail,
Yeah,
I'm happy to explain. Yeah.
cool. And then another question. I read that it's not recommended to extend J-frames too much, but what are the best options to use J panels since they can't work alone?
I'm sorry, I'm not a Java person, but give me the email ID. I will do the research and I will give you some uh, relevant, useful information to you.
Mhm. So at Tesco's, are you mainly working on front end
No, actually, I'm a full stack. Currently, our team is small, so we are doing end to end, collecting the requirement to until delivery. So we do all the stuff like server side, development side, design side, testing, until delivery.
Excellent. And that's yeah, that's fascinating. Such a huge company to work with. I noticed also you mentioned Awesome. That seems a really good tool. I haven't used that so much.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, have you found that it's really helped you out? Awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, cool. So that's a good one. And then we've got the spring conference as well.
yeah,
Um, I noticed on the slide that it was there was a virtual event on the 15th, um,
yeah.
and then it's been postponed to the 8th. Cool. And also Stackshare. Can you tell us a bit more about Stackshare? What was
Yeah, the stack share is like it's a startup, but nowadays they got a good investment from Y Combinator and many US companies. The stack share is uh, you it is very useful to for an example, all major companies, what are the technologies they are using for their projects, like for an example, Uber. So Uber for the traveling industry,
yeah,
for their application, what are the softwares they are using. for a
Mm-hmm.
development, testing, DevOps, support, even office internal, the email thing. So all um, the general stuff they published, so you will get clear idea. So not only in the Uber, like you can compare with Uber, Lyft, Ola, all major companies. Suppose you are making an app, so you can grab all the things. Sometime Uber using some technologies, it's not suitable for your company budget or your company requirement. So you can go with Lyft, maybe second level company. So you can check with them alternative. So which technology they are using.
Yeah.
So suppose they are using Python, some company using Go, some company, yeah,
Mm. That's-
Airbnb,
Yeah.
Facebook, all top 10 companies using all the technologies. You can know about it. And even if you go to the YouTube, many the developers, they are discussing about the data structure and architecture about the application, like Uber architecture. So you can understand how they build the Uber microservices architecture, why they are using microservice architecture without using
Yeah.
monolithic. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that sounds really interesting. So we've got another kind of question from Niam, who's mentioning for someone who started as a junior dev without a computer science background degree, what would you recommend to build up basic computer science knowledge? Yeah, I can definitely concur with that because if someone hasn't done computer science, it's very much a
Yeah.
gap, isn't it? So that's the case.
uh, yeah, I would like to suggest them many open source libraries, either websites are there, like you can go and like like uh, for an example, like uh, I would like to suggest the free code camp is a good resource.
Mm-hmm.
You can utilize it. Medium, dev.to, and Khan Academy. Um, like email me, I added my email. I can guide him like what are the best websites they can use it and understand. The main thing is any language, go with their official documentation.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I would like to suggest them,
Yeah.
because if you like to change your career from different department to computer science, I would like to suggest recap your school books, all the mathematics.
Mm.
Spend a week, 1 week, because same simple computer science means simple mathematics.
Yeah.
If you know
Yeah.
mathematics, you will be good in computer science. After that, they start then decide, like think about your goal, like uh, do some little bit research about it, like if you're good in mathematics, and think about your passion, like if you have a more creative thinking, maybe you can go with the UI developer or front end developer thing. And if you are more functional oriented guy, and um, that kind of guys, check with the backend stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In Generally in the current trend, if you would like to start a career, I would like to suggest them to start with the basic fundamentals of C, C++, then straight away go with Python, because Python is good in current market. Like if you like to go with a good salary, like a data scientist or a data engineer, you can start easily 40K in UK. Yeah, so the major thing they are using Python stuff for all the data science, machine learning, many things for a future thing. So learn Python, Go kind of languages.
Mm. Cool. And in terms of the maths, then, I mean, do you? Because obviously you could do algebra. There's quite a wide range of maths topics, right? So what would you kind of focus on in terms of that first, and then moving into computer science?
It's a basic, simple mathematics only.
Hmm.
Is that's why I told if you spend time with your kid, you, you will get idea.
Yeah. Great. Well, it's been fantastic. With the test-driven approach, do you use that a lot of work, TDD, and in your current work at Tesco's?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, currently, like, yeah, we have different, technologies and a DevOps side. Like, we are using, Azure, AWS, and we have our own cloud also there. So in
Mhm.
my projects, we are using our own cloud. Um, so in my team, we are doing end to end. And another, you know, suggestion or sharing my experience, like if you are working in a big company, it's everything as a some policy and procedural way. So B2B patience and follow the company policy to creating. Yeah, sometimes it's slow, but you will be fine within a month. um, so try to contact the right person and solve the issues quickly. And yeah, we are currently we are using, yeah, the latest technologies like Terraform and Python based script for uh, uh, creating images and other stuff.
Mhm.
And the DevOps side, yeah, the Splunk for log management. Yeah, all major leading technologies are available in Tesco. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying everything is available, but we need to think about our project, which one is required for our project,
Mhm.
and make it simple. That is important. Make a
Yeah.
profit for company.
Yeah. Excellent.
Like,
And
if we are developing for yeah.
yeah. I was just going to say about the C and the C++. So you
Mhm.
mentioned that as part of the computer science. Did you do a lot of study of C and C++?
Yeah,
when you
because
went?
all current all major programs are object-oriented programming. So if you know the
Mm.
basics, then it is easy. Um, yeah, how the people are doing is they know Java, they know the answer, and they will solve the issues, but they don't know why we are using and how we can use and how we can modify it. That is the thing, very important. So that's why
Mhm.
I'm saying if you know the basics,
Mm.
you can add top up yourself easily,
Excellent.
can understand quickly. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, that's been fantastic, Roger. I've learned so much, and it's been real masterclass. So thank you so much. Yeah, and thank
Yeah.
you to everyone for the questions as well. I mean, there's been some excellent questions here. So yeah, I think um, if there are any further questions at all, please feel free to put them to Raj on his email, which he's kindly shared. So Raj at teslit.co.uk.
Yeah.
And well, thank you very much, Raj. It's been fantastic.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Tom, we can see the video in YouTube, yeah, soon, yeah.
I think so. I think I presume that Barry has recorded this.
Okay.
He didn't. He hasn't actually. So yeah, I think he hopefully we'll see that on YouTube uh, later on. Yeah, I'll send an email just to follow up regarding that as well.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for
Great.
the
Yeah,
opportunity. Yeah. Thank
yeah, I
you
really
very
enjoyed it.
much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, excellent. Okay, all the best. Bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.